So my spring race season is in full effect. We've got one race down and we got another coming up. Let's discuss what happened at the March Madness Half Marathon and what's going to happen at the Shamrock Shuffle. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're ready, subscribe, watching content. Thanks so much. Love you guys a lot. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Strava for all sorts of other updates and things like that. So without further ado, let's begin. Basically, we have, as you can see on our calendar, the March Madness Half Marathon, which was completed last Sunday at the time of the filming of this video. We've got Montreal work engagement, which I'll kind of discuss also as well. And then we have the Shamrock Shuffle happening tomorrow at the time of this video filming. And by the time I release it, it'll probably be honestly over, or I would have finished the race already. So that's just kind of giving you this future sight before this thing comes out. But anyways, March Madness Half Marathon, here it is. This was a race that I wasn't even sure I was going to get done this year, let alone finish at all, just because my training was not as great as I wanted it to be. But yeah, here we go. Finisher medals all around, as you can see. Enjoy. They're just kind of fun pieces to collect and have around your house. And we also got a finisher mug. This one we'll kind of discuss as to why it's kind of significant and important. But yeah, so results, I guess we can paste them somewhere in the times, but they're actually right here. I got them printed out on my receipt. So as you can kind of see, we'll back it up a little bit maybe so you can kind of see that. We'll also zoom it in. What's important here is the finishing time, which my half marathon PR is about 1:26:30 or hour 26:30. I ran a 1:33:57 this particular day. And I'm not mad about the time, as it just met my A goal, which was to run in under 1:35, okay? I walked into this race knowing that my half marathon was not in a good spot, or like my distance volume work was just bad for over 6 to 8 months leading up to this race. And I managed to kind of put something together here at the end, both with just some training, getting the diet in a better spot, and then most importantly, switching into a race shoe at the very last minute and taking a gamble with the Adidas Adios Pro 3 to be my race day shoe. And we kind of discussed this in a previous video, of course, that the Vaporfly Next Percent 2, my usual Nike race shoe, quality was just not good. It didn't feel right, and I had to swap into something different. So my options were, ouch, the Vaporfly Next Percent 3 or the Adios Pro 3. So I opted in for the Adios Pro 3 as just a whole different party kind of shoe, and yeah, it paid off. So let's just kind of break down the race, right? Main things was that the March Madness Half Marathon is a much more popular race than I thought, okay? This race does happen in Cary, Illinois, which is kind of close by my place, with kind of a distance still. I digress. Point there is, there's a lot of hill strides, there's a lot of hill climbs, there's a lot of rolling hills on this course, and to run a PR in your half marathon is going to be, unless it's your first half marathon ever, or you just been really putting in some great work, like it's going to be almost not likely, I guess you can say. So I was not expecting a half marathon whatsoever. I wanted to finish this race knowing that there was at least 7 to 8 massive hills on this course that were going to have to be conquered in order to get to the spot here, right? So what's important here, which again, the popularity of the race didn't occur to me until afterwards, because this race falls as a perfect training half marathon for the Boston Marathon, okay? Because the Boston Marathon is rolling hills, and at the very end you have Heartbreak Hill, you know what I mean? So you're going like the first 20 miles at a net downhill, and then you have to climb the last 20. So what better race to do on your calendar in the spring than this particular half marathon, which is rolling constant hills, right? So when I look at the results, and like I'm in 80th place when I usually find myself in these more local-ish races in like the top 10, top 20, it makes sense. And I think it's because a lot of the people that have done really well are just seasoned runners who run maybe in Cary all the time, are familiar with the course, have historical experience with it, or just overall really good runners, or B, are runners who are training for Boston and already have this volume, this like high mileage already under their belts, and they're just putting this as like a training race simulation kind of scenario. Those are my guesses. And then there's a couple of other, marathons in this calendar that also come up. Maybe like London is coming up, but maybe this one's too soon for London. Hard to say. Point is, if you were putting in that winter volume, doing this half marathon should be a breeze. But now if you're like me who didn't put in that volume, yeah, of course, it's going to suck, right? So most important things here, I guess, to note is that, yeah, I took top 100 at least. I took 84th place, but I took 3rd place in my age group division. So that's where this mug comes from, is that I barely made it over the finish line in one piece without basically just losing it all. And I'll kind of break that down. So I opted in not to take a whole lot of goo nutrition on the run. I did take like Gatorade and water when it was available, and in the first 10 miles of the race, I was pretty steady, as you can probably see from like the Strava metrics that I have. I'll paste them somewhere where you can see them. It's only in the last 5K of the race do things really start falling apart. Like I'm walking up hills at some point, I'm having calf cramps. It's just not good, and it's turning into a run walk very fast, and my pace has been, completely wiped out at this point. And as you can see, like, maybe I did go out too hard at some points during the run, which, again, is highly likely, but at the same time, being dragged and being pulled by, like, the runners around me helped a lot to help me keep that pace. And that's something I know I'm missing from my daily training, is, like, running with groups, running with other individuals who would push me, who would do something obscene, and then I would follow, because that'd be like a moment of like, oh, that person's gonna do that, watch this kind of moment, So missing that piece during the race was just something I noticed, that without like other runners during this particular race that I could like pack myself with, or kind of see on the course, I don't think I would have done nearly as well as I did. And I think everybody probably agrees with that. This is a cold take, everyone. Everyone knows that when you run with a group, you're going to run better, because the psychology of your running gets better, I guess you can say. I don't know. We'll just like find a way to word that. But yeah, so like in the last turn before the half marathon finish line, like there's a video of it here, I think I'll paste it. Like both of my calves cramp immediately, and I cannot get any sort of pace at this point. Like the race is over for me. If the race had gone on any more than like that last 0.1 miles, like I would have just quit right there and then. And yeah, it was really embarrassing just to see that this like fall from grace almost, that we're doing these rolling hill runs and then I cramp up at an hour 34 half marathon when I could have run like an hour 27 in my best day and like still feel alive. So it is what it is. There's lifestyle changes that I need to start incorporating to get my half marathon back to the ultimate form that I had it at. And I'm aware of what needs to be done. It's just, I don't have a whole lot of time in the spring race season to make a significant impact now, only later. And that's just, again, something as runners we recognize, that like that one key workout you do next week isn't going to affect your race next week. It may help you, well, it's not going to impact your race positively for this upcoming race, but maybe 2-3 months down the line, when that consistency continues, that's when you're going to start seeing the results that you were originally looking for. So that's what I was trying to get at, I guess. So that was the half marathon. I survived. I felt fine afterwards, and third place in my age group. Like, I'll walk away with it. A win is a win is a win is a win kind of situation. So did I deserve it? I don't know. Like, it depends how else everyone else's day was. It's not like I was the only one having a bad day. I'm willing to bet on that. Like, the course was insane, so I was just a little bit more prepped than somebody else, or whoever took fourth in my age group, I guess. I don't know. So looking forward, we are now into Chicago Shamrock Shuffle season. So I just picked up my bib. We gotta, kind of lock myself down after my shakeout run, my gym workout in like the next few minutes here. I just like took my pre's and I'm ready to go do my thing. So this will be exciting. I know that my time is not going to be PR worthy. I'm not going to, blow away like a sub, 28-minute 8K by any stretch of imagination, but I'm willing to just give it my best. Just get a good, 5 mile all-out kind of run under the belt, and just take that momentum from race physique and race fitness and start applying it to build the volume and build the speed as I kind of continue on into the gateway of the Chicago Marathon training season. Because, as you can see, the Chicago Marathon is confirmed. I am good to go for this year. I do have the Chicago 13.1, which is going to be another race kind of midway between now and the Chicago Marathon to start assessing and getting in shape for. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on here as we get into the Shamrock Shuffle week. And then after Easter and all of that, we have the Cooper River Bridge 10K race in Charleston. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to be another race that I have a personal beef with that we need to kind of squash, right? And for those who have done the race, like when you run on that bridge, like everything tells you to stop, and I did end up stopping and walking on that bridge, and I want to be able to at least get through that bridge without stopping. That's just the big goal for me, realistically speaking. So with Montreal, that made kind of the Shamrock Shuffle training a little strange. I went out to a cybersecurity conference in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and I was doing a presentation out there for, the conference, and I knew that based on the itinerary of things that were happening that I wasn't going to have a whole lot of time to train, but I did make the most of whatever time I had. So I did do like a 4-mile run outside around the airport. I had a few treadmill workouts that were just nice and easy because a lot of it was recovery from the March Madness half marathon and just being in a good, recovery mode as I'm leading into a race that's a week afterwards, right? So the only thing that really messed me up after Montreal was that we did have a day where a few coworkers and I basically just stayed up the entire night because if we split the coworkers in half of us were going to travel to back home basically, and we had to get through like customs and all that early in the morning, and then the other half just wanted to stay up late and then show up to some other conference workshops and things like that. So this coworker and I, he wanted to come home and, just get to his kids as soon as possible. I just wanted to get home because I wanted to get home. So we stayed out until 3:30 in the morning, just hanging out in downtown Montreal. And then we left our hotel at 3:45 a.m. We got through customs and all that by 4:50, 5 a.m. We had chicken and waffles at the airport, which was nuts. It was so good. And I don't even eat breakfast and I don't stay up this late. So that was just wild overall. And then we got, our first class seats. We got bumped to first class on our return flight home. So I got on a flight at 6 a.m., got home at 8:30, 9 a.m. or something like that. And I just passed out. I was so tired from the entire day. And thankfully we had those first class seats because I did manage to take a small nap on the plane, which usually doesn't happen. But man, that was a crazy day. I would totally do it again, just not in the middle of a race week kind of scenario, I guess, because that doesn't help with recovery that you just have zero sleep during the entire course of the day. So that was Montreal. 10 out of 10, would definitely go back. And yeah, just it was a good time, man. That's life. And I wish I could have filmed some of it, but a lot of it was confidential information. I didn't want to walk around with a GoPro. I just want to just be in the moment, more or less. And that's kind of the scenario as it unfolded out in Canada. So we're here. We got a shakeout run now to do. So this video, I'll put it back to together later. But yeah, shakeout run, workout, eat a lot of pizza, and we call it a night. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. If you got any questions, comments, thoughts about the racing stuff, if you were at March Madness and you had a good time, let me know. Any thoughts, concerns on that? Did you see me on the course? Probably not. I blended in like a ninja, basically, just because my bib wasn't visible for half the race. So whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, I guess we'll end the video here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.